Today, and I can't believe I'm saying this, I stand with Rand. Who did this?
I rise today to begin to filibuster John Brennan's nomination for the CIA. I will speak until I can no longer speak. I will speak as long as it takes until the alarm is sounded from coast to coast that our Constitution is important, that your rights to trial by jury are precious, that no American should be killed by a drone on American soil without first being charged with a crime, without first being found to be guilty by a court.
So, as snow was falling in D.C. and Congress was trying to schedule a quick vote on John Brennan's CIA nomination with Democrats prepared to fast-track the architect of the drone policy under Bush, even as Brennan wouldn't give a direct answer to the question, does the U.S. have the right to kill U.S. citizens without charge or trial? No direct answer, and no Democrats were prepared to stop the insanity, and Rand Paul began the filibuster, and I'll show you a good chunk of his remarks after this brief comment, which I begin with the admission that, as many of you know, although I stand with Rand on this issue, I despise his namesake Ein, the second-rate novelist, and I am as far left as Paul is right, but politics isn't a horizontal continuum, more like a circle, and on the issue of drones, and on the issue of the power grab that the executive branch of our government, under both the Bush regime and the Obama regime, are doing, we can stand together with libertarians. Why? Listen, people on the left. The Obama administration, your hopey-changey guy, believes it could technically use military force to kill an American on U.S. soil in, quote, extraordinary circumstances, but they have no intention of doing this, according to none other than the U.S. Attorney Eric Holder. He made this statement in a letter disclosed Tuesday to Rand Paul, and Rand Paul is now filibustering. Now that some of the details of the program are not so secret, perhaps Democrats should be joining Tea Partier Rand Paul in shutting down Brennan's nomination, and in doing so, perhaps we can shut down our drone program and the idea that the office of the president can keep a kill list that may, at any time, include American citizens, and without charge or trial, and on the say-so of the president, a pilot manning a video monitor in Las Vegas or some such hellhole can push a button causing an unmanned plane hovering over Pakistan or Yemen or Hoboken, New Jersey to launch a lethal missile against an American citizen because of something they might do in the future based on a mountain of evidence that has not and will not see a judge or a jury, because the judge, jury, and executioner now rests with the president and the president alone, violating what every middle school student knows as our evolved system of checks and balances here in the land of the free. And this is a Democrat. At least Dick Cheney and the neocons had the good sense to try and lie and trick the American people out of fear that if we knew what the hell was going on behind the great big curtain in Oz, we would revolt. But no, the Democrats are pulling a David Blaine magician act. They're looking us right in the face, telling us that their foreign policy, the way they wage the never-ending war on terror, is different than Cheney and Bush, when the only thing different about it is the vast numbers of people who stood against the Bush regime's war crimes, including the invasion of Iraq and Afghanistan, will give their silent blessing to war crimes committed by a handsome dude who can string together a sentence better than the village idiot from Texas who stole the White House in 2000. This is America. And now, as promised, more of Rand Paul's grand stand. Please share this far and wide with Democrats, Republicans, Libertarians, and Progressives. We all need to stand with Rand.
That our Constitution is important, that your rights to trial by jury are precious, that no American should be killed by a drone on American soil without first being charged with a crime, without first being found to be guilty by a court, that Americans could be killed in a cafe in San Francisco, or in a restaurant in Houston, or at their home in Bowling Green, Kentucky, is an abomination. It is something that should not and cannot be tolerated in our country. I don't rise to oppose John Brennan's nomination simply for the person. I rise today for the principle. The principle is one that as Americans we have fought long and hard for, and to give up on that principle, to give up on the Bill of Rights, to give up on the Fifth Amendment protection that says that no person shall be held without due process, that no person shall be held for a capital offense without being indicted. This is a precious American tradition and something we should not give up on easily. They say Lewis Carroll is fiction. Alice never fell down a rabbit hole, and the White Queen's caustic judgments are not really a threat to your security. Or has America the Beautiful become Alice's Wonderland? No, no, said the Queen. Sentence first, verdict afterwards. Stuff and nonsense, Alice said loudly. The idea of having the sentence first? Hold your tongue, said the Queen, turning purple. I won't, said Alice. Release the drones, said the Queen, as she shouted at the top of her voice. Lewis Carroll is fiction, right? When I asked the President, can you kill an American on American soil, it should have been an easy answer. It's an easy question. It should have been a resounding and unequivocal no. The President's response? He hasn't killed anyone yet. We're supposed to be comforted by that. The President says, I haven't killed anyone yet. He goes on to say, and I have no intention of killing Americans, but I might. Is that enough? Are we satisfied by that? Are we so complacent with our rights that we would allow a president to say he might kill Americans, but he will judge the circumstances? He will be the sole arbiter. He will be the sole decider. He will be the executioner-in-chief if he sees fit. If there's a gentleman or a woman with a grenade launcher attacking our buildings or our Capitol, we use lethal force. You don't get due process if you're involved with actively attacking us, our soldiers, or our government. You don't get due process if you're overseas in a battle shooting at our soldiers. But that's not what we're talking about. The Wall Street Journal reported and said that the bulk of the drone attacks are signature attacks. They don't even know the name of the person. A line or a caravan is going from a place where we think there are bad people to a place where we think they might commit harm, and we kill the caravan, not the person. Is that the standard that we will now use in America? Will we use a standard for killing Americans to be that we thought you were bad, we thought you were coming from a meeting with bad people, and you were in a line of traffic, and so therefore you were fined for the killing? That is the standard we're using overseas. Is that the standard we're going to use here? I will speak today until the President responds and says, no, we won't kill Americans in cafes. No, we won't kill you at home in your bed at night. No, we won't drop bombs on restaurants. Is that so hard? It's amazing that the President will not respond. I've been asking this question for a month. It's like pulling teeth to get the President to respond to anything.